What about Mac?
When is he on the field? Only rookie quarterback that we know for sure starting right now is Trevor Lawrence, correct?
Correct.
No. Zach Wilson in New York, the Jets.
Okay.
More than likely.
The only quarterback we know that's starting is Trevor Lawrence. So, no disrespect. I'm sorry.
No, all due disrespect to Zach Wilson.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Tone Burrow, here with another episode of Talk419 Sports. This is my partner, Dub, set us up.
We're going to get right to it. Fantasy strategy, fantasy guide. It's just basically all fantasy football this episode. But we're going to get straight to it with the quarterbacks. Where do you take a quarterback? Okay, so if I'm standard, everything we're talking about is a standard 10-team league. PPR. 12 team is cool. If you do anything more than that, you're absolutely ridiculous.
10 to 12 teams.
But in the 12 teams, I'm only taking a quarterback if it's
One more thing. I personally do 6 points for a pass touchdown. Keep that in mind.
That should be the standard. Like, I'm tired of all this. Especially like, let's get into that first. Yahoo Sports. Why is your fantasy football, your whole platform, organization, everything is trash? I don't want to look at my score and see 76.17. Stop it.
Facts.
ESPN is the way to go. I do like NFL just because of the fact if you have DirecTV, they link up while you're watching the game. All your scores are on the left.
Facts.
That's good, but I just had to get that on. I hate Yahoo. Anyway, where do I personally take a quarterback? I'm only taking a quarterback in the first round if I have a top 3 pick, and he better be the number 1 quarterback. And even then, you're still taking a risk because the difference between a Patrick Mahomes performance and a Russell Wilson's performance is very minimal. However, I think that the elite, and there's only maybe 3, the elite quarterbacks are going to give you 16, 17 of the same thing all the way through. My thing is I've been taking Russell Wilson for the past 4 years, and every time week 10 hits, I'm scrambling, looking and thinking, should I play my backup quarterback?
He hits that wall.
But still, quarterbacks, if you don't have a top 3 pick, you take your quarterback late. You take him, I'm going to say typically for me around 4 to 5, 4 to 6, and I'm getting a franchise quarterback. But only thing that messes that up is when you had a super in the draft when one person takes Aaron Rodgers and then the next pick, you're like, oh shit, now I got to take one.
So, I have experience on the flip side of what he has said. When I really was in my fantasy football and I was rattling off championships, this was back circa 2012, 13, 14. I took Aaron Rodgers in the first round every year. And to his point, what he said, if you take a quarterback, you got to take a quarterback that's going to give you those points week 1 through 16, 17.
Yeah, because
you got to, Aaron Rodgers was giving me 28 to 32 points, 30, and then he'll break out and have 35, 36, a 40-point game.
And when you can get that performance, you don't have to keep a second quarterback on your roster. You can just, all I got to do is go find one on his bye week and plug him in. Because when you can do that, that's when you can have that extra receiver, extra running back, extra whoever. Even if you're just playing keep away. Because a lot of times I'll have a person, I'm not dropping him just because he's not good enough to crack my starting roster, but he's better than anything somebody else got.
Facts.
Like I had a year where I had Scary Terry's first year. I had him, D-Hop, Stephon Diggs, and like Amari Cooper. And it was just, shit, Amari Cooper still was better than most people's team, but he wasn't making a starting spot on my team.
Right.
So a lot of times you're playing keep away. But yeah, the quarterback pick, that's clutch.
Again, if you do that first round strategy, it has to be an Aaron, a Patty Mahomes. I think Josh Allen moved into that group now, and I think.
So who do you? Yeah, let's get into that. Who do you think are draftable first round quarterbacks?
I got Aaron, Patty. Honestly, those are only 2 I would take in the first round.
I would just say Mahomes. Honestly, Mahomes, maybe Allen. Other than that, you say Aaron Rodgers, but his injury history is too much for me. That's a big ass.
And that's fair. But I'm taking him.
Running backs. Now, typically, I want to get one of these first. I want to get a person who I know they're the person who's getting 20 carries. They're not splitting. Preferably somebody who is good in a receiving game also. So for years, I was big on back in the day, like Reggie Bush type of character was the perfect one for me. Alvin Kamara will be him now. Darren Sproles back in the day. I need somebody who's going to do everything. Christian McCaffrey. I need somebody who...
Dalvin Cook,
receiving and running.
So here's the deal, guys. So, as I just said, I used to go with the quarterback strategy. Now, again, it's only 2 quarterbacks worth doing that with. Now, if you're not going quarterbacks, here's personally what I have discovered. If you don't take I call them stud running back.
Gotta be a stud.
If you don't take a stud running back, like a starter, I'm talking a Dalvin Cook, a Zeke,
Alvin Kamara,
a Chubb. If you don't take a guy who's getting the majority of the carries in the first round, you have to take a back in the first round. If you're not getting a Patty Mahomes and you're picking it at 2 through 7 range,
gotta get the best one of those.
You gotta take the best running back out there, bro. Because when it come back around, you gonna be looking at.
Now, one who hit for me last year and he was a blessing was Kareem Hunt, and I got him so late. But that's the next step is because usually you're gonna have one stud, and then your second starting running back is gonna be somebody who is fringe, gets carries. It's kind of hard to find 2 starters.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking 2 studs.
2 studs.
2 studs. There's starters for certain teams like going into this year with the Lions. I don't know what DeAndre Swift is going to give me. I don't think he's going to be the bell cow back. He's the leader going into the team, but he's still going to split carries with somebody.
Now, let me give you an example. Last year, I believe I had the 4th pick. My first pick was Dalvin Cook. Stud, correct? You would agree with that? Coming back around. What would that be? The 14th pick or something like that? 14th pick. Coming back around. I took Aaron Jones out of Green Bay.
So you were set, at that point. You're set for the
year.
Year.
You're set. You get 2 backs in the first round. Now you can just build around them.
And that's for me personally. That's what I'm looking for. I want to be able to a quarterback or my 2 running backs. Okay, when these 2 are like, I know who I don't have to think about my lineup.
You don't have to think about I'm in the round 7 and I still don't got I only got 1 starter running. What about you? Yeah. I got.
Because you set yourself up for the rest of the season. Now you're plugging and playing, and now you got 4 running backs that you're interchanging. And when you do that, you're always going to miss. Somebody's going to have a 20-point game that you're going to miss out on. Receivers. I go so heavy on receivers. I'm talking about. I've drafted first 2 picks be receivers before.
PPR, fellas, I have to. Last year in another one of my leagues. But you guys, you go ahead if you had something else to say.
No, that's just my biggest thing. Is
So here's again. So you're not taking a quarterback. Patty Mahomes is gone. You're picking like 8, 9, 10. All the real stud running backs are gone. Now you have your DeAndre Hopkins of the world. You have your Devontae Adams of the world. Your Michael Thomas before the BS of the world. Mm-hmm. That's when you would look to take one of those guys.
And I think that if you have a pick, let's say 8 to 10, which means in the second round you're going to pick 11, 12, 13. I've had years where I go get DeAndre and then you can draft Odell right behind him. Again, just like we said with the running backs, if you do that, boom, boom, your 2 starting receivers are set. Now all you're doing is, who is my flex? Is it a backup receiver? Is it a running back? Is it whoever? You're just trying to get those spots set. So 8, those later in the rounds is typically I'm picking a receiver there. But I think that receiver is also the position where you're going to have there's the most of that. Running backs it's probably a top 7 to 10. After that, they fall off. Receiver, you're going to have 15 top tier receivers who are going to be performing.
Facts. Receivers are, especially in the PPR world. In PPR world, you could take a
guy who kind of like was Wes Welker back in the day. He might not have had 100 yards receiving a game, but he'll have 11 for 83 easily.
You get facts, and facts. That's what 19 points. It's just because he had 11 catches. You don't really need the touchdowns.
No, at that point, give me 10 and I'm fine. And give me double digits and we'll go from there. But that's the floor for my team. I need everybody to perform at least double digits. After that, it's extra.
And you can find, like you said, receivers are so You can find a Calvin Ridley around 6 or 7.
And
or
also
like
with that, rookie receivers tend to perform very well. Just like you said with Justin Jefferson, these people that you can get so late but add so much value, because if you're a person again who picked 8 through 10, and let's say you drafted Odell and then you went and got Justin Jefferson. Okay, that third slot might be where you go get one of the rookies. Now, if he hits, you have a flex who's permanently set.
Right.
So
you might be looking at who you say Jefferson, Odell, then mess around and draft Pitts.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Pitts, we're gonna move on to the tight ends. I treat this one like quarterback. If I don't get one early and he's not a top, but there's so many more now. I think we're going back to our days of Antonio Gates and Kyle Rudolph, and those, it was like a top 5, and then the rest was like slim pickings.
Tight end is tricky, man. Tight end is tricky. Tight end is tricky because this is so delicate, guys. Tight end, if you could get Kittle or Kelsey or Darren Waller has worked himself in that conversation. If you pick it in that, what I say, 7 through 10 range?
Yeah.
Say you pick it at 7 through 10 range, you might want to go Kelsey over a receiver. You're going to get
the production is there, and you can find another receiver later.
Now, tight end is not deep like receiver at all. But come round 7, you still might be able to find a Ertz. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But even still, with that, tight end is typically for me the one position I don't draft too well. I'm getting one. I'm going with him, and then if it doesn't work out by week 4, that's when I'll start making some moves. But I'm not keeping 2 tight ends on my roster.
See, last year I took that boy Kittle in the first round, and he really might have second round, and he was killing until he got hurt.
Yeah, and before we get to anything else, injuries. That's the only thing that typically derails a season for me. I typically don't draft like bust or somebody out of where the range, but man, injury can just completely derail a season. I mean, there was a while back where I had Peyton Manning when he got injured. Like my first 3 out of 4 picks were people who got injured: running back, receiver, and Peyton Manning. That was just a hell year, but that's the hard part. It's so unpredictable. Only time it's even not even predictable if they're coming off injury, because I got my eyes on Christian McCaffrey. I'm taking him if he's available no matter what.
So, injury derailed. Listen, guys, I had Dak, Cam, Mike Thomas,
damn, that's injury.
Kittle, Deebo Samuel.
If you had any Niners player last year, they were hurt.
Did I say Dak?
Garoppolo.
Man, I had so many injuries. Cortland Sutton. What's the kid out of the receiver? AJ Brown before he... Ooh. Like, I had so many... Yeah, man. Injuries changing all up, bro. And those names I was named was studs, bro. It ain't like these was my 6th player on the bench. This was like guys I was dependent on.
But injuries just aren't something that you can even prepare for, so that's just the luck of the draw. But let's get into the rookies. Highlight some rookies that you're excited. I got my eye. There's one rookie who I'm going to find a way to get him no matter what.
Are you speaking on it, or you keep it to yourself?
I'll speak on it. I'll do whatever it takes.
Who is it?
I'm getting Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts is, if you looked at one of the last episodes, I was big on him coming into the year. I think he's going to have a big year. I'm getting Kyle Pitts.
What's the kid from LSU? The receiver
who went to the Bengals. I can't think of his. That is one.
Can't think of his name, guys. I'll have a graphic pop up in a picture. You know how I do, but I can't think of his name.
Rookie running backs too. Those are the ones I tend to have. Those as my backups because they go so much later. Because there was a year of Kerryon Johnson's rookie year. I think I got him maybe second to last round. Terry McLaurin, I remember he was my very last pick in the draft.
Yeah, that.
So,
killed.
I think that's where you can really win or lose your season your fantasy football is by you pick the right rookie in the right late round. Boom, you got another starter.
The two rookie backs that I like is you might have said his name. It might have been the last video, but Najee Harris. And I think that Travis Etienne kid's going for Jacksonville. Plus, in Jacksonville, they suck. They gonna run the ball. They're
gonna be losing a lot, so they might be behind. But I do get what you're saying. Rookie quarterbacks. I'm just like you with Justin Fields. I think once he gets on the field, the dual threat is what's going. Any quarterback can get running yards. That's big, and he's gonna be running for his life. So, but it's just a matter of when he gets on the field. I'm not high on taking Trevor Lawrence rookie wise because I think Urban's gonna try to keep him in the pocket as much as possible. I don't think he wants to play around with injuries. I think he wants to just try back, find an open receiver, a two read type of offense. Look, 1, 2, find somebody.
What's the kid in San Fran?
Oh man, from North Dakota State. I can't think of his name right now. But I know when does he get on the field?
So you saying just Fields? What about Mac?
When does he get on the field? Only rookie quarterback that we know for sure starting right now is Trevor Lawrence, correct?
Correct.
No, Zach Wilson in New York, the Jets.
Okay.
More than likely.
The only quarterback we know that's starting is Trevor. So, no disrespect. I'm sorry.
All due disrespect to Zach Wilson. Even if he is starting, I don't think I've ever drafted a rookie quarterback and started him, but I have seen BS seasons. Like I've seen RG3's rookie year. I had a Redskins fan who drafted him in the first round.
You know who saved my season one year? One of my quarterbacks got hurt. Their rookie year. God, who was that quarterback? I can't think. It wasn't Herbert. It was before Herbert. Rookie saved by Josh Allen. Saved my season his rookie year. And this was before he was even killing. He was just decent. He was just doing good at the second half of the season. Yeah.
So, to wrap this whole thing up, players you stay away from.
Mike Thomas. I want nothing to do with him.
Well, okay. I don't know where he's going to go because he's going to be out the first at least 6 weeks anyway with injury, so he might fall. If Michael Thomas is there in round 7, 8,
Michael Thomas would not step foot on my roster.
At all, no matter where he's at. If he's there that late and I already have my starters and he's at that point, it's a flyer. My last 3 picks are French players, and they're probably they might get released within the first couple of weeks. If he's there that late, I would take Michael Thomas, but at that point, he means nothing to the team.
He let me down too much. I personally have a personal vendetta where he can't play my roster, but what you're saying makes sense. America, what he's saying is right.
I'm just saying I'm keeping my eye on Mike Thomas. But I do. Once you get burned by playing fantasy football, you hate that player.
And I don't hate Mike Thomas, guys. I'm Ohio State veteran. He's Ohio State alum. Brought a championship. You know what I'm saying? And he's a dog. But I personally can't I can't mess with you. I can't have you on my roster. I can't do it.
Only player I'm staying away from who burned me is Zeke Elliott. Look. I've had him the past couple years in a couple of leagues, and it's like every year you kind of just lose a little bit. And it's like that.
Bro, he started off at 103 a game his rookie year. Now he's down to 60-something a game. So, I mean, he has a play. I personally think he's going to bounce back this year.
Everything looks good. The social media pictures, it looks like he looks slim and trim, but that's how they get you.
That is how they get you.
That's how they get you.
That is definitely how they get you. Every year he's looked good this time of the year. So I should disregard everything I just said. I feel you dumb. Go ahead.
But other than that, man, I stay away from running backs on bad teams because if projecting out teams I think are going to be terrible next year will be like Jacksonville, the Texans. I don't want a running back from a bad team because if they're down by 21 points, the last third quarter, fourth quarter is all passing anyway. And if they're not a running back who catches passes, you've lost out on everything. So
to piggyback on that, I just don't like players on bad teams. Period. Like I would never touch anybody from the Texans now. Like I don't want anybody from their roster.
That's different because I don't know who their quarterback is.
I don't want nobody from the Jets.
If it's a bad, like again going back to Jacksonville, not to pick on them, we love Urban, but if there's a receiver on his team who shows some performance early and is a free agent, I'm gonna take him just because I know they're gonna be passing every game. Will he start? I don't think so, but just having him there, can I plug him in on a bye week? That's the only time. Other than that, I'm just like you. If it's a player on a bad team, I'll stay away. Quarterback, everything.
He has said so. Guy, watch your bye weeks. Don't be like me and draft your whole roster with a bye week on week 10, and you're screwed.
That's a good tip. And that's it's the small things like that, because I've had it where, man, situations like that can kill you when you have 2 starting receivers and both of them are bye week, or 2 starting running backs, or blah blah blah, or a real tricky one. And I've only ever done this one time. I had a starter. It was a top 5 quarterback. He's my guy for the whole year, but my backup, who I got later, bye week was the same one as him. Exactly. So, little situations like that. But again, this was just kind of a guide,
Let me ask you one more thing before we get out of here.
Go for it.
How do you treat your flex spot?
That one is rotating. If in a perfect world,
in a PPR league, are you going with the back? Are you going with the receiver? Are you flexing the tight ends 1 week? How do you usually go with your flex?
Okay, so typical setup: quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight end, flex, defense, kicker.
Correct.
If I end up getting 2 running backs I trust, my 2 receivers, average tight end who's good, so that's going to end up being like your 7th, 8th, 9th round pick. Usually my flex is a rookie who's overperforming or a teammate of one of the starters.
Okay, so you like doubling up.
I'll double up, yeah. I'll double up on the flex. I don't like to have tandem running backs together. I don't like to...
So you mean like you'll have, this is just for example purposes, you'll have Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams.
I would do that. I prefer, if I'm doubling up, I prefer to have quarterback and the skill position player. I prefer that type of doubling up just because when he scores, boom, double points.
Two more points. Defense. How you attack your defensive situation. I'm sorry, let me ask you the flex. I just go with the hot hand on the flex, guys. I just look for the guy that's hot hand.
It's a rotating, like that flex usually never stays the same. That's where I'm using my intuition, like this person is playing this team, let me plug them in. Even if the projection is low, I go off of my intellect. Okay, I know that team better.
Right.
This is a weakness, blah blah blah.
Right. And guys, again, that's a good point. Don't get caught up on the experts. You know the game. You know what you're seeing. You know you got your own eyeball test that you run.
Yeah.
Go do your own research. I mean, take what they say into account, but you really gotta be a GM, man. You can't you gotta go with what you think. Go with your gut, like he has said. Defense.
Okay, only time I've ever focused on a defense and not focused on the actual defense was, we'll take it way back to like the days of Devin Hester's of the world. Somebody who was like, because the special teams,
that's another wrinkle, guys.
That special teams can come in handy. Less nowadays with so many fair catches, who's taking punt returns back. They don't mean as much now. But back then, that's when you would really be like, okay, let me go get this. Like, Chicago's defense wasn't the best back then, but if he scores a touchdown, boom, that puts you right back in the game. But basically, I'm just going, my goal is to get a top 5 defense. I only want to get one defense, put them in there, and not touch them. I'm not rotating defenses around.
Listen, guys.
Because I've had to do that before. It's been years where you keep getting good player after good player after good player, and then next thing you know, it's round 12 and you got a defense.
It's cool. I'm going to beep it out.
When you don't have, there's nothing worse than going into it. And each week, I have to go to the free agency and see, okay, who's playing a bad team.
So
sometimes you'll get lucky though, and it'll be an average team like Detroit, but they're playing Jacksonville. Okay, I might take the risk and pick that Detroit defense because I think that they're gonna make mistakes. Or if it's another good thing to think about, pick a defense who's playing a rookie quarterback. That might be a guaranteed 1 interception typically, just going off of
historical.
So that's typically how I play. I want to get one defense, plug it in there. That's it. But when you play that musical chairs, that's when you mess up and you get one of those -4 days. One of those.
I've only taken one stud defense like round 8 or 9. Remember that year when the Pats got Revis?
Yeah.
And they had Revis, they had Browder, they had McCourty back there, they were Chandler Jones, they were stacked. I took that defense. That defense helped propel me to a Super Bowl.
For years, I would take flyers on like the Legion of Boom days. Just
see those teams are worth drafting in that 8-9 spot.
Exactly, because once the first person takes a defense or that kicker, boom, 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 and it's just a domino effect.
Since you brought up the kicker, we gonna close out. That was the last thing I was gonna ask you. I would just say, I usually just fill out my roster and I just grab a kicker out free agency. That's how I get down.
I go get the kicker from my favorite team. But for years, Detroit had a good kicker, so it worked in our favor. And that's kind of the one where, like, look, I just want somebody who I know. I don't advocate drafting from your favorite team. I don't care who your favorite team is. You don't want to have a roster full of a wide receiver, a tight end, and a quarterback from the Lions because your bye week is going to kill you. But the exception is kicker. I'll take a kicker unless I get kicker from the Ravens, Justin Tucker. If it's not him, I'm getting a Lions kicker or whoever.
I want to say they got rid of him though.
Actually, another one. I get a kicker who's kicking indoors.
That's another wrinkle.
That's a big deal. That comes into factor like later in the season. I don't want to have the kicker at New England in November. I want somebody who is in Atlanta, who's in Detroit, in Arizona. Get a kicker who's kicking out.
There you have it, guys. Just some tips and tricks on our little fantasy football draft strategy. A little bit of analysis on some players
and again, we still have that fantasy football league coming soon. We'll get the invites out to the people who want to be in. If you want to join, by all means, DM, hit us up on socials, whatever it takes. But yeah, we're gonna get that Go Talk Fantasy Football League going soon. Of course, 10 team, of course, PPR, of course, 6-point touchdown, the standard. Anything else is uncivilized, but that's it. Fantasy football episode.
All right, y'all. Peace.